I gotta get out of here now! Holy cannoli! The mountains are calling, and this time, I really must go. Wonderhussy here. That's right, it's the middle of an extreme heat advisory in, well, basically in the entire western United States, but specifically in Las Vegas, where I live. It's expected to be something like 121 degrees on Saturday, and well, my car said it was 120 degrees just now. I don't want to be there for that, so I loaded up everything I needed to go on an extended adventure, and I'm heading for the hills. The highest hills I could think of, the Sierra Nevada mountains. Much better. I had to go all the way up to 8,000 feet in the beautiful Sierra Nevada mountains to get to it, but temperatures up here are much more reasonable. This time I'm on the western slope of the Sierras. Usually I go hang out on the eastern side along the US 395 corridor, which is beautiful, but let me tell you something, the western slope of the Sierras is friggin' amazing too. So I'll be honest, I didn't just come up here to get away from the heat. I actually came up here for 3 reasons. 1, to escape the heat. 2, because there's a hot spring up here that I've been wanting to check out for a long time. And 3, today happens to be the day of the summer solstice. That's right, it's June 20th, which is the day that I think the Earth is the closest to the sun that it will be in its yearly orbit. So that means it's going to be the longest day of the year with the most daylight and the shortest night of the entire calendar year. And so back in, like, I don't know, pagan times, I guess, before Christianity, the ancient peoples used to really celebrate this as a holiday. I think kind of like a fertility holiday and a fertility of abundance and lush life and growth. And well, obviously we're not ancient peoples and we're not even really pagan and we're not Wiccan, but we decided to have a solstice party anyway. I'm actually up here with a bunch of friends. There's one of my friends brought a really cool tent and some flags. There's a little altar we made for the solstice ceremony we're going to do later. There's my friend Victor and his partner in their van, and then there's my sister's rig. And then that's my friend with the tents rig. And then there's my spot right here, backed up against these massive, shady pines. And before you say anything, yes, I'm well aware that you're not supposed to park underneath big trees like that because, well, these giant branches that they call widowmakers have a tendency of falling down and crushing people from time to time in our national forests and parks. And, well, up here, that's actually a very real possibility because there was a terrible wildfire up here, I think last summer. Lots of burned areas that I drove through on the way up here. And speaking of the drive up here, oh my gosh, it was gnarly. I mean, you drive, basically you head west out of Fresno up into the mountains along a winding road, and then you take a turn up an even more winding road, and then you take a turn up a road so winding and so narrow that, well, there's really only room for one vehicle at a time. And there's people towing trailers and boats and, oh my goodness, that was one of the roughest roads I've ever driven. And I've driven some rough roads. But it blows my mind because, man, I've seen people up here in, like, you know, regular street cars, a Mercedes. I saw a guy in an old vintage VW Beetle with really old road tires. So apparently people come up here regardless of their vehicle. They aren't put off by the road. They aren't put off by all the dead trees and potentially murderous branches. They aren't even put off by the bears or the rattlesnakes. That's right, there's rattlesnakes up here. And oh my God, what's more, we saw one yesterday in our campfire. My sister was shaking out a blanket or something right next to the fire, heard a noise, and there was a giant diamondback rattlesnake in the fire pit, in the stones, hiding in there. And so thankfully our other friend here isn't super afraid of snakes, so he got a really, 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 really long branch and he picked it up. Well, first he tried just sort of herding it out of the fire pit, like poking it along, move along, and he got it to go right back here behind my car, which I was like, no, keep moving it along. So he moved it along, and it was weird, like the snake didn't get mad at him. It wasn't hissing at him or rattling or anything. It just sort of let itself be poked along, and then he finally got it on the branch and flung it way over yonder. And it hasn't been seen since, but let me tell you something. I've been looking where I step and where I reach very assiduously since we saw that rattler. So anyway, tonight's going to be our big solstice ceremony. My sister brought her solstice priestess gown and headdress, and we're going to do some kind of goofy little ceremony tonight around sunset, which the official solstice isn't until 8:30 p.m. this time of year. I think like 8:32 or something. My sister has it all figured out. She's got a plan. We've got some special drinks and some special treats that we're going to do, if you know what I mean. It should be a fun party, but before we do that, we thought we better get some exercise and enjoy some of this beautiful nature that surrounds us. So we're going to go for a hike to a little lake in the area called Lake Doris. All right, this is supposed to be about a 2-mile hike to this little lake. And it's supposed to be a real pretty little lake. But to be honest, I don't care how pretty it is, as long as there's water in it and the water's cold, I'm in, because even up here at 8,000 feet, it's a hot day. Beautiful trail though. Oh, there it is. Doris Lake. What an amazing alpine lake. Water temperature is absolutely perfect. There's nobody else out here. Although Victor and his partner, I think, are about to arrive shortly around the corner. Their dog got tired. They got a 14-year-old pit bull, and she got a little tired on the hike, and so, well, they decided to load her onto their inflatable paddleboard. Oh gosh, look, now our other friend got on the paddleboard, and he's towing his dog in a floaty. His dog hasn't ever been on water before until yesterday, so this is all very new to the dog. He seems like he's doing okay. Oh my God, a snake in the water. Woo! Wow, that's kind of creepy, man. Yikers. Whew. Oh, awesome little lake. That was fun, but, well, it's already 5 o'clock, and, well, there's only one summer solstice, and the sun goes down at 8:32, so we need to start making our way back to camp to get ready. I put on my special ceremonial solstice outfit. First of all, no offense intended if you are actually a practicing Wiccan. I just didn't know what to wear. I'm not a pagan, I'm not a Wiccan, so, well, all I had was this old witch's hat for my costume. And then, well, unfortunately, I can't really shoot below the equator because this dress is totally sheer white lace, and it just seemed like something they might have worn at a summer solstice sacrifice, if I remember the movie The Wicker Man correctly. Anyway, we all just got back to camp. My sister made some ceremonial cocktails, and we're all gonna go walk up on one of these rocks to watch the final sunset of this season, and, well, ring in the next season. Okay, well, she's making us our cocktails. Check out this altar we put together. And again, don't be offended if you're Wiccan or pagan. We mean everything in good fun, good spirits. And also, if you're Christian, it's not a pentagram, it's a pentacle. I don't know, we just tried to make like witchy pagan stuff. We're just trying to have a good time and celebrate this ancient holiday. So to that end, we just collected a bunch of flowers and sticks and pine cones, and we got like colored lights and odds and ends that we found in the forest. Oh, and then I found this, when I was packing for the trip, I found this old vial that I bought years ago at this store called Wicca World in Vegas, uncrossing oil. So my sister, the priestess, is going to anoint us all with that oil later in the ceremony. And then, you know, these little acorn shells I picked up at another place I camped, and I filled them with, you know, different elements of the earth. These are charcoals from the wildfire, salt to represent earth, moss, and I even mixed a little bit of menstrual blood into the moss, and some berries, you know, just a little bit of everything to have a little bit of fun. There's my sister getting ready in her ceremonial priestess outfit. Doesn't she look fantastic? Okay, now we're all gonna walk out onto these rocks and watch the final sunset of the season. Man, oh man, what a solstice party we had. I mean, again, I don't mean to offend anyone if this is like your religion, but you know, we did kind of initially plan this as like, oh, let's all dress up like Stevie Nicks and have a witch party. And it ended up being unexpectedly poignant. That's right, I said poignant. My sister, oh my God, my sister had this amazing headdress and costume that she made. And so she sort of presided over this ceremony like a priestess. We all hiked out over to kind of like a cliff over there, and we watched the sun go down. And my sister said a few words about the changing of the seasons. I mean, it's a bittersweet day. It's officially the first day of summer today. Woohoo, my favorite season. But it's also the first day that the days start getting ever shorter until the winter solstice. Anyway, my sister said a few words about that and rebirth and life, and well, it was actually pretty cool. None of us are religious people, but we all agreed that having this little ceremony and, you know, even doing these little weird rituals that we did fulfilled some kind of weird primal void in us, I guess, and we all really enjoyed ourselves. It just ended up being a really cool night. That being said, it was also a really late night, and well, consequently, we all got kind of a late start this morning. But we're not going to loll around camp all day because, well, remember what I said earlier in this video. I didn't just come up here to get away from the hot weather. I didn't just come up here to celebrate summer solstice. I also came because of the hot springs. That's right. There's a ton of natural hot springs. Just down the road there. There's actually a resort. You can stay out with little cabins and stuff, and I'll show you that a bit later. But we need to go check out the pools and go for a nice therapeutic soak to celebrate the official arrival of summer. Okay, before we go check out the hot springs, we decided that we might as well keep driving up the road from where we're camped, because we're kind of like almost all the way at the end of this windy road that goes up the west side of the Sierra. But come to find out, the road continues up almost to the ridge of the Sierras, where you drop back down onto the east side. And so way up here at the top of the Sierra Nevada mountains, there's a resort called the Vermilion Valley Resort. And it's right on the John Muir Trail and I think the Pacific Crest Trail, because there's a ton of thru hikers staying here. Okay, thru hikers are those people like in that movie with Reese Witherspoon where they backpack for like 3 months at a time and go all the way from Mexico to Canada, like that kind of thing. Well, this is right along that trail, and it's actually really interesting. There's the lodge over there where we're all hanging out in the shade. There's picnic tables. There's people who've just hiked, 100 miles sitting there cooling their heels. There's Wi-Fi so they can, email their mom, let them know they're okay. And then over here is like where you can just pitch your tent if you're a thru hiker and camp for the night. And there's two really interesting things about this little tent camping area. Okay, first is the name of the tent area, which is called Mushroom City. And I'm not going to lie, of course, when I saw that sign, I thought something different. But the reason they call it Mushroom City is the tents kind of pop up overnight like mushrooms in a field. Okay, the second interesting thing about this Mushroom City is. You can see it's kind of fenced off with this sort of wall made out of logs, chopped logs, but each log has a different name written on it, okay? And it's not just stupid graffiti. It's actually all these different thru hikers. They all sign their trail name. See that? Your trail name. And our trail name is like a nickname they give you, or that other hikers give you when you're hiking on these trails. So, you know, as you're hiking along, say you're always the slowpoke in the group, well, next thing you know, they start calling you slowpoke, and that's your trail name. Like, you don't give yourself your own trail name. It has to be given to you. So what's interesting is looking at all these different trail names. Some of them are pretty good. Okay, like, first of all, this guy looks cool. Space Cowboy. I'm sure I'd get along with him. And we have Harry Potter, Panty Dropper, Captain Jackass, Happy Accident. Oh, Bonnie and Clyde, PCT together till the end. Oh, it's a guy and a girl hiking together. That's cute. And they were just here a few days ago. Oh, I would have loved to have met them. Oh, here's probably my favorite one, though. Fire Thighs. Oh, look, there's a couple thru hikers right there. You can tell those people just got in from hiking like 5,000 miles, and they're super tired, and they're just going to look for a place to camp now. Or maybe they're heading back out. They could just be heading on north towards Canada. Oh, see, here's the distance where we are. They got another 1,767 miles to go to Canada, but they've already come 871 miles from Mexico. Look at all these hikers' packs, heavy backpacks that they all must have felt so good to put down there. Look, hikers, please loiter. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I have it in me to do a Pacific Crest Trail thru hike, but I have massive respect for the people who do. And that's what's cool about this place, is you can just drive up here and hang out and sort of get the experience of being a hiker on the Pacific Crest Trail. It's pretty cool. Okay, here's something kind of cool. It's a signpost. You know, one of those funny signposts that shows you like how far you are from various places, like beer, 0.01 mile. Because there's a store right there that sells beer. Spokane, Washington, a little over 1,000 miles. Nearest 7-Eleven, 3.25 hours, probably in Fresno, I guess. But what's really interesting is, look at that, Mammoth Lakes, 17 miles. Or how about this? Bishop, 30 miles. That is really wild to think I'm only 17 miles from Mammoth Lakes and 30 miles from Bishop, California. But it would take me, oh gosh, it'd probably take me from here maybe 8 hours to drive there, because I'd have to drive all the way down back to our campsite, and then all the way back down that windy road, and then all the way back down the western slope of the mountains to Fresno. And then I'd have to go probably north to, I'm not sure what the closest pass is that actually goes over the Sierras. There's only certain places you can actually cross the Sierra and then come back around and drop down 395 and finally end up in Bishop or Mammoth Lakes. And it would take a lot longer than if you just walked 17 miles. I mean, I'm not going to say it'd be an easy walk. I'm sure it's a tough hike, but it's just really interesting. Anyway, it's just an awesome place to chill out and have a drink before we head back down and finally go check out these hot springs. Okay, well, it's almost 5 p.m., but we're finally headed to the hot springs. We're coming up on the little hot spring resort here. There's little cabins you can rent, you can see. And apparently there's a little cafe over here that has like supposedly really good buffalo ribs, buffalo burritos, buffalo burgers. Unfortunately, it's not open for the season yet. And there's the little camp store that has free Wi-Fi you can use. There's a drinking water spigot out front, free drinking water. Oh, there's actually a Forest Service campground right here along the creek, and there's a little bridge across, and that's where all the hot springs are. Okay, coming up the hill to the first hot spring, and there's probably like 10 different hot spring pools. This next one here is the hottest. Now, okay, so this hot spring is called what?
Old Pedro.
Oh, okay. Now, Victor's the only one of us who's actually been here before, so this is the hottest one?
As far as I know, this is the hottest one. It's usually around 104, maybe 106 sometimes.
Okay, and it's a concrete tub, so it's the remnants of an old resort. Is that it?
I don't know.
What?
I know that this is a bathhouse. I don't know if it was a resort or if it was for like workers.
Oh, okay.
Or people that would.
But it was established in 1935,
Yeah.
so it's been around for a minute.
Woo!
All right, yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to go in, but That is hot. This would be nice at night. Old Pedro. All right, time to get out. We want to go check out some of these other pools. Can't stay in there for too long. Okay, we're gonna go up the trail and find the next little hot spring to soak in. Oh wait, on the way to the next tub, here's the foundations of the old bathhouse that used to be here, I guess, or resort or whatever it was. Nothing left here now though. Oh, okay, this next one looks really appealing. Look at the name. Sludge Pocket. I ain't scared. I like a good sludge. I like a wallow.
Is that bed tonight, Clay?
Hopefully. It's warm. It's a little bit muddy. I'd say it's kind of like the Tacopa mud hole. Oh, it reminds me a lot of the Tacopa mud hole. It's like a little mini Tacopa mud hole. Look at that. Well, might as well dip in all the way, or I can't say I've done it. Oh yeah, this one's not quite as hot as the one we just went in. I'd say this one's more like maybe 101. Little whiff of sulfur, but not too bad. Real natural, real rustic. I like it. Oh, there's so many hot springs here. I feel like I can't stay in any one of them too long. I want to try them all. Oh wow, this is deep and it's actually pretty hot. That's nice. Okay, well that's 3 down. I feel like I need a checklist at these hot springs. There's so many of them. Oh, look, everybody else went down to the creek. It looks like there's little kind of soaking pools built up against the side of the creek, but my sister said they're not warm. Oh my God, look how beautiful this is though. Ah, can you imagine any more beautiful place to spend the solstice? Oh wait, there is a pond here, a little pool that's said to be sort of warm. My sources say. According to reports.
My guess is 99 to 100.
99? Oh, yeah, it is warm. Look at that. Sitting right here next to that creek. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Okay, next hot spring on the agenda. This is one of the lesser known tubs, hidden in a beautiful grove of little wild rose bushes. Look how pretty this is. Okay, let's check her out. Nice natural sandy muddy bottom. Oh God, it's so hard to get out of this beautiful wild little tub. But there's at least one more that we want to hit before it gets too dark. So we gotta move on to the next tub. Okay, now this tub that we're looking for is supposed to have an amazing view of the whole valley. Oh yeah, look, you can see it through the trees there. Oh my goodness. Dun dun dun! The big reveal. This really does have an amazing view. Wow, this is amazing. Holy cow. Oh, there's a sign here. Let's see. Oh, it's got plants over it. Lil Eden. Boy, I've never heard a more apt name for a hot spring. Well, except for maybe Sludge Pocket. But seriously, look at this. This really does look like the Garden of Eden. And this view. I mean, look at that. You can see the whole valley. See the meadow with all the water coming out of it. There's even more water coming down that rock. Look at these creepy mud faces. Oh my gosh, people make faces in the mud at the side of the pond. That's crazy. Oh, talk about a hard hot spring to get out of. That was rough. But, well, we have about an hour and a half left of daylight. And just when I thought we went to all the hot spring pools, come to find out, I think there's 1 or 2 more, and they're down below us. And we don't want to be bushwhacking in the dark. So it's time to leave. Okay, yikes, man. Getting down from that little Eden tub was no joke. You really have to earn soaking in that tub. But I'm glad we did it. Now we're back down, kind of crossing this marshy meadow. Headed back down to kind of near the creek. There's supposed to be 1 or 2 more hot springs. And even though it is getting dark, and even though it is getting kind of chilly, and even though it is getting towards supper time and we're hungry, by gum, we're thorough people and we are going to soak in all of them. Uh-oh, looks like it used to be a tub. I think that might be the one they called the coffin. For some reason it's dry. Okay, and then there's another tub up here somewhere, right? Oh, wow, look! A little mini single soaker. Just big enough for one. Cool, let me try this out. If I don't try them all, well then they can't call me Goldilocks. Goldilocks of the hot springs. Oh, it's shallow, it's muddy, and it's hot. Ooh-wee. Wow, look at this. Just big enough for one. Ooh, man, this would be amazing tonight. The stars up here would be unreal. Okay, there's one more pool over here, but they all say it's cold and no one else is getting in, but, well, you know me. I'll just take a real quickie. Oh, it's not cold, it's just warm. Oh, all right, so how many was that one? Old Pedro, Sludge Pocket, the one down by the river, the two deep ones that were side by side, Wild Rose one, Little Eden, the little mini one I just went in, and then this one. 8 hot springs. I just went in 8 hot springs in like 3 hours. That's a record for me. And that brings my total lifetime hot springs that I've been into something like 110. So, man, I'm really glad I came here. It was totally worth the journey. I can't think of any place better to have spent the summer solstice. And the best part of all this is, today is actually the first day of summer. Ha! So imagine how many more adventures I'm gonna have before summer's over. Wah!